Hello and welcome. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran and this is Express News. President Draupadi Murmu extended Vijayadashmi greetings to countrymen. She urged embracing truth, justice and harmony while shunning anger and ego to build an inclusive, equitable society. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the centenary celebrations of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh as the chief guest on Wednesday at Dr. Ambedkar International Centre in New Delhi. Prime Minister Modi released a specially designed commemorative postage stamp and coin highlighting the RSS's contributions to the nation and before addressing the occasion. While addressing the event, PM Modi mentioned that the coin released today has the national emblem and an image of Bharat Mata. He said this is the first time in the history of independent India that an image of Bharat Mata has been shown on the currency. Further, PM Modi praised the 100-year-old pursuit of nation building, emphasizing unity and service of the RSS. The event celebrated RSS's role in shaping India's cultural and social fabric. At the 60th UNHRC session, Josh Bose, an international geopolitical researcher, highlighted concerns over the human rights violations taking place in Pakistan. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, while addressing the Defence Accounts Department's 278th Annual Day in Delhi, urged the department to fund innovative R&D for India's tech-driven defence sector, celebrating 2025 as the year of reforms. GE Aerospace delivered the fourth F404I N20 fighter jet engine to Hindustan Aeronautics Limited as part of a 2021 order. HAL is now finalizing a major contract with GE to acquire 113 additional F404 IN-20 engines. Lieutenant General Virendra Vats has assumed charge as the Director General of the National Cadet Corps, succeeding Lieutenant General Gurbir Pal Singh. Commissioned into the 19th Kumaon Regiment of the Indian Army in 1988, Lieutenant General Vats brings 37 years of distinguished service with him. In a latest on Tamil Nadu's Karur stampede, DMK MLA V. Senthil Balaji expressed shock over the Karur rally stampede that killed at least 40, including children. He urged statewide collaboration to prevent future tragedies amid ongoing probe. 9 migrant workers from Assam died and 1 was critically injured when scaffolding over 20 feet high collapsed during concrete arch construction at the 1,320 megawatt Ennore Special Economic Zone thermal power project near Ponneri on Tuesday. PM Modi expressed grief over the Ennore SEZ scaffold collapse in Chennai, killing 9 Assam workers. He announced rupees 2 lakh ex gratia for each deceased skin and 50,000 rupees for the injured. In Manipur, intelligence-driven joint operations conducted by the Indian Army and Assam Rifles under Spear Corps in coordination with police led to significant counter-insurgency successes in Tengnopal, Imphal East and Chandel. In the intelligence-led ops across Manipur's Tengnopal, Imphal East and Chandel, the Indian Army and Assam Rifles arrested 4 cadres, recovering 8 weapons, IEDs, 1.2 lakh meth tablets worth 3.6 crore rupees. Vigilance to sustain peace. In Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri, the PM Gram Sadak Yojana road project has begun. It connects Mangota to Darhal in the Pir Panjal Mountains, linking 2 subdivisions for the first time since independence, enhancing connectivity. India's FTA with the EFTA has come into effect today. The agreement promises $100 billion in investments and 1 million jobs over 15 years. Signed in 2024, it enhances trade and economic ties. The Reserve Bank of India has announced its monetary policy decision today, highlighting India's favorable growth inflation dynamics. The Reserve Bank of India has kept the repo rate unchanged at 5.5% and maintained a neutral monetary policy stance. This is the second consecutive time that the repo rates have been kept unchanged. RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra noted that inflation conditions have remained mild during 2025-26 so far, and said that the inflation projection has been revised to 2.6% from earlier projected inflation rate at 3.1% in August. RBI Governor now projected to grow at 6.8%, up from the earlier forecast of 6.5%, reflecting stronger economic momentum. In business, the equity benchmark indices rebounded about 1% on Wednesday. Sensex settled 715.7 points at 80,983.31. At close, the broader Nifty climbed 24,836.3, up to 25.2 points. The Indian rupee ended higher by 9 paise to 88.69 per dollar on Wednesday versus previous close of 88.78. Spot gold traded at $3,862.7 per ounce, up 0.77% from Tuesday amid US recession fears boosting safe haven demand. In India, 24-carat gold hit 11,744 rupees per gram. Spot silver traded at $47.31 per ounce, up 0.71% from yesterday, driven by US recession fears and gold's surge. In India, 999 purity silver hit 1,51,000 rupees per kg. WTI crude dipped to $61.91 per barrel, down 0.73%, while Brent edged up to $66.18 per barrel, up 0.22%. Asia-Pacific markets fell sharply on Wednesday, with Nikkei down 1.2%, Hang Seng 1.5%, and Shanghai 0.8%. Weak US jobs data sparked recession fears. China's stimulus failed to lift sentiment. European markets stumbled on Wednesday, with FTSE down 1.1%, DAX 1.3%, and CAC 1%. ECB rate cut bets rose amid China's slowdown. Investors braced for a volatile week. The Euro Stoxx 50 surged past its March 2025 record closing high of around 5,456 points, reaching 5,515 amid robust Eurozone earnings and ECB rate cut hopes. In an update, UK's final September 25 manufacturing PMI is at 46.2, down from August's 47, signalling contraction at the fastest pace in 5 months. Japan's tariff envoy said there were no discrepancies with the US on the $550 billion of mooted investments by Tokyo as part of their recent trade agreement. As per the White House, under the terms of the US-Japan deal lowering threatened tariffs, Tokyo will invest the money in the US. South Korea is also on the hook for $350 billion. US President Trump has said both countries will provide this signing bonus up front. However, the US-Japan Memorandum of Understanding did not mention immediate payments, saying that would be made from time to time. The MOU between US and Japan has also stipulated that Tokyo would provide the necessary funding within 45 days of Washington, D.C. selecting an investment area or face higher tariffs. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau stressed the critical role of skilled workers of foreign companies investing in the U.S. at the first working group meeting on new visas for South Korean companies. Meanwhile, South Korean President Lee Jae-myung said on Wednesday the country's defense budget for next year would rise by 8.2% to $47.1 billion. The U.S. government shut down at midnight after Senate Democrats blocked a funding bill over expiring Obamacare subsidies and Medicaid cuts. Up to 750,000 workers furloughed unpaid. Trump vows irreversible reforms. U.S. President Trump also signed an executive order to promote the use of artificial intelligence in child cancer research. The U.S. Health Department announced a doubling of funding for its Childhood Cancer Data Initiative. EU leaders gathered in Copenhagen, hosted by Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, with von der Leyen, Macron, Tusk and executives from 28 top firms. Amid drone threats, talks focus on drone wall, Ukraine aid via frozen Russian assets. The Copenhagen summit was the first opportunity for EU leaders to debate the proposal to use Russian assets frozen in Europe to fund a loan of 140 billion euros to Ukraine. Danish Premier Mette Frederiksen urged Europe to step up its response to Russia's hybrid war as she hosted EU leaders for defense talks held under tight security following mystery drone flights. On the other hand, the Kremlin has warned European leaders that any theft of Russian assets will have serious consequences, saying it will pursue those responsible. Meanwhile, Romania has plans to set up production on its territory of defensive drones with Ukraine for domestic use, as well as by European Union and NATO allies. At the Copenhagen EU summit, leaders debated that Ukraine will repay only post-war via Russian reparations, and the discussions also circled around plans to avoid outright seizure. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine has now been without off-site power for 6 days. The International Atomic Energy Agency chief says the agency is engaging with both sides of the military conflict to restore off-site power. The IAEA says external power lines supplying the plant came down last week for the 10th time in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and emergency diesel generators were brought into service. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed alarm over the situation, saying that Russian shelling is preventing restoration of the power line. Meanwhile, Russia's Moscow-installed Zaporizhzhia operator has declared the situation under control after a week-long power outage. An overnight Russian strike once again battered Kharkiv in Ukraine. A guided aerial bomb injured 6 people and triggered multiple fires across the city, including at a market and residential blocks. Addressing the nation on the 65th Independence Day of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu declared that the worst is over following a series of painful economic reforms. Right, time for a short break. Keep watching DD India.
This week on Defence Dynamics, from the rails of India's heartland, Agni Prime raises, carrying a nuclear edge on the move. As the nation strengthens its shield with Anant Shastra QR-SAM regiments, a new layer of defence takes shape. With the Kaveri D1 engine igniting India's aerospace dreams, the future of power is truly homegrown. This Wednesday at 8 p.m. only on DD India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
This week on Defense Dynamics, from the rails of India's heartland, Agni Prime raises, carrying a nuclear edge on the move. As the nation strengthens its shield with Anant Shastra QR-SAM regiments, a new layer of defense takes shape. With the Kaveri D1 engine igniting India's aerospace dreams, the future of power is truly homegrown. This Wednesday at 8 p.m. only on DD India.
Welcome back. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. You're watching Express News on DD India. A powerful earthquake of magnitude 6.9 struck Cebu Island in the Philippines on Wednesday, leaving at least 69 dead, over 150 injured. The tremor in the Philippines caused widespread destruction, collapsing buildings and triggering power outages across the region. Severe flooding in Ukraine's Odessa killed 9, including a child, after 2 months' worth of rain fell in just 7 hours. Rescuers toiled overnight in flood-hit Odessa, evacuating 362 people, clearing vehicles and draining water from buildings. Emergency teams continue relief operations amid extensive damage. Cleanup and drainage efforts are underway in a Mexico City suburb following one of the region's heaviest rainfall in decades. Heavy rains on Saturday caused widespread damage in Mexico, forcing evacuations and flooding homes with up to 1.1 meters of water. Streets in Ibiza were severely flooded after Storm Gabrielle swept across the Mediterranean island, unleashing torrential rains that submerged vehicles and disrupted transport. The Spanish weather agency issued a red alert for Ibiza and Formentera, reporting 180 millimeters of rainfall within 12 hours. Typhoon Boiloy, Vietnam's most destructive storm of the year that struck the country on Monday, triggered widespread floods, killing at least 26 people and leaving 22 missing. The India Meteorological Department has issued yellow alerts for multiple regions, a warning of continued heavy rainfall over the coming days. Vietnamese coffee exports hit a record $6.42 billion, aiming for $8 billion by year end, driven by supply gaps, rising prices and industry changes. Inventor Erno Rubik and chess grandmaster Judith Polgar launched the first Rubik chess tournament in Budapest, combining blitz chess with Rubik's cube solving. South Korea's Everland amusement park opened a themed zone featuring characters from Netflix's animated film K-pop Demon Hunters on Tuesday. Bear 32 Chunk was crowned Alaska's fattest bear in Katmai National Park's Fat Bear Week, winning 96,350 votes despite injuries including a broken jaw. Australia's south coast has seen about 500 tons of dead marine wildlife wash ashore since March because of algae blooms. This marine waste is helping to enrich the land and support new growth. 5 ancient human footprints about 7,000 years old were discovered in Turkey's Amak Plain, Rehanli district. Experts date them to around 5,200 BCE during the early Chalcolithic age. The Moroccan city of Fundik recently hosted a national fishing competition with over 70 participants from various regions. The event aims to promote sustainable tourism and develop marine sport. El Cucuy National Park in Boyaca, Colombia experienced one of the most surprising snowfalls in recent years, despite ongoing glacier and ice melt in the region caused by climate change. The women-only Apantex Penitentiary Center in Santa Ana, El Salvador, marked Independence Day with cultural events as part of President Bukele's Zero Leisure Prison Rehabilitation Program. Devasuran, a national champion herdswoman from Govisumba Province, Mongolia, lovingly raises an orphaned foal, training it to drink milk from a bucket. Luxembourg's Grand Duke Henry will sign his act of abdication on Friday, ending his 25-year reign. His son, Crown Prince Guillaume, will succeed him. Visitors are flocking to Takashima City, western Japan, as chestnut harvesting season begins. The 55-hectare Makino Pickland Park is home to around 18,000 chestnut trees across 10 varieties. Devotees worship Ma Siddhidadri, the 9th form of goddess Durga, on the occasion of Maha Navami, the 9th day of the Hindu festival of Navratri. Andhra Pradesh witnessed a grand display of devotion as goddess Kanyaka Parameshwari was adorned with 5 crore rupees in currency notes, 7 kilograms of gold and 12 kilograms of silver. Thiruvananthapuram's Shakti Krupa showcases 7,400 Golu dolls for Navratri. Collector Kuttur Veerasai has spent a decade curating antique and themed pieces. Paris Fashion Week, which began on Monday, runs until October 7, featuring top brands such as Saint Laurent and Louis Vuitton, with much anticipated debut from Chanel, Balenciaga and Loewe. On Tuesday, British designer Stella McCartney, known for sustainable fashion, unveiled her eco-friendly summer collection featuring feathery cocktail dresses. Grammy-winning DJ Calvin Harris will make his India debut with a 2-city tour in Mumbai and Bengaluru from 8th November. Grammy-winning artist John Mayer will make his India debut with a live show in Mumbai on 22nd January 2026 at the Mahalakshmi Racecourse. American director Ryan Murphy's Monsters series returns with its 3rd installment, The Ed Gein Story, releasing 3rd October. The teaser of Hindi film Tere Ishq Mein, starring actors Kriti Sanon and Dhanush, directed by Anand L. Rai, was released on Wednesday. The film releases on 28th November worldwide. Actor Anshuman Jha's upcoming maiden directorial Lord Curzon Ki Haveli reimagines Beethoven's classics in a black comedy thriller shot in the UK. The film releases on 10th October. The trailer for Single Salma, starring Huma Qureshi, is out. The comedy drama follows Salma's clash between an arranged marriage and unexpected love in London. It releases on 31st October. Bollywood superstar Shah Rukh Khan will co-host the 70th Filmfare Awards 2025 in Ahmedabad alongside Manish Paul and Karan Johar. The event will take place on 11th October at Gujarat's Eka Arena, Kankaria Lake. On S.D. Burman's 119th birth anniversary on Wednesday, Jackie Shroff paid tribute by sharing a monochrome photo of the legendary composer on his social media story. In sports, India will be favourites against a struggling and understrength West Indies when the two teams face off the first test in Ahmedabad on Thursday. India Test captain Shubman Gill indicated that the team would look to play on tracks that offer assistance to both batters and bowlers. India under-19 batter Vaibhav Suryavanshi hammered a record 78-ball century on the second day of the opening test against Australia in Brisbane. India's opener Abhishek Sharma has set a new rating points record in the ICC Men's T20I batter rankings after his Player of the Series effort at the Asia Cup. The 25-year-old left-hander reached 931 rating points, which is 12 more than the previous best rating points of 919 attained by England's David Malan in 2020. Indian Grandmaster R. Praggnanandhaa lost to France's Grandmaster Maxime Vachier-Lagrave in their second chess tour final semi-final in Brazil. India's star para-javelin thrower Sumit Antil clinched the gold medal in the men's F64 javelin throw at the World Para-Athletics Championships. Yannick Sinner won the 21st title of his career by thrashing American teenager Lerner Tien 6-2, 6-2 in the China Open final. 24-year-old Sinner is the third man to win multiple China Open titles after Novak Djokovic with 6 titles and Rafael Nadal with 2. World number 1 Carlos Alcaraz clinched the Japan Open by wearing down Taylor Fritz 6-4, 6-4 in the final. Gael Monfils has announced that he will retire at the end of the 2026 season. A Victor Osimhen penalty gave Galatasaray 1-0 victory over Liverpool in the Champions League. Chelsea are back to winning ways with a 1-0 success against Benfica as Jose Mourinho returned to face the club he coached earlier. Kylian Mbappe scored a hat-trick as Real Madrid cruised to a 5-0 victory over Champions League debutants Khairat Almaty. Manchester City midfielder Rodri is not ready to play 3 matches a week as he continues to work his way back to full fitness. And with that, it's a wrap on Express News. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.